Kerry, the company's office now needing more information?
Yeah, this is just a heads up for those farmers operating as a company. From the 1st of July this year, there was a change where accountants and lawyers have got to get more information of them. It's not a fact of us being nosy, it's actual legal requirement now. You've actually got to give your date of birth and your place of birth to the company's office.
Statistics or something, is it, that's behind all that?
There's a wee bit behind it. It's basically, I think it's to make sure that the right people are actually directors, to make sure there's no overseas directors, and that it's all matched up and there's no bankrupts and those sort of things. So it's not anyone being nosy, you've just got to do it. No one on the public record will know about it, so it's all secret, but you've got to do it when the annual returns file with the company's office. So that could be any time during the year, it just depends on when it's actually due.
Aha, so it's not when you just form the company, it's after that.
Yeah, when you form the company, you've got to do it. So from that point, it doesn't matter, the company's office has got it already. This is the existing companies, they haven't had to provide it in the past, so now they do, and it's just to make sure you give it to your accountant or lawyer when you see them. And
I guess if somebody joins into the company and is a new director, that has to happen. Yeah,
they've got to give the same details, their full name, date, birth, address, all those sort of things, and give the signature to say that they're not disqualified from being a director. So they've got to go through all that legal sort of drama.
Yeah, okay. I mean, but it's there to protect.
Yeah, it is. It's to make sure that the right people are operating, and that we haven't got anyone that's sort of hiding behind a company, basically.
Because you get situations, and it's in Canterbury at the moment, where a building company will go broke, and all of a sudden, the people who are involved with that one are involved with another one.
Yeah, they could still do it, but it's just another way of tracking everybody, really.
Big brother. Okay. What's tax pooling?
Well, we've got provisional tax coming up for your sort of May, June farmers. That's not far away. Tax pooling is another way of actually meeting your provisional tax obligations. So, like we've talked in the past, you can talk to IRD, do an instalment arrangement. There's now an intermediary out there, such as Tax Management New Zealand, where you could go to them and say, look, I want to borrow some money off you. You agree how much you want to borrow, when you want to pay it. There's an interest cost, which is tax deductible. They pay some money across to another party, who's an independent trustee, who hold it in a special account with IRD. Now, when the due date comes up, you pay your money, they pay it to IRD, and it's as if you paid it on time. So you could effectively sort of tax pool for 12 months if you wanted.
Just hang on a minute, can you go back over that again?
So you're sort of borrowing money off another party.
Yep.
That's all put into this big pool with IRD, and then when you pay your money to them, so it could be 12 months later, for example, it's put into your IRD account, but it's as if you actually paid it on time.
And we can trust that pool of money?
Yeah, it's managed by an independent trustee, and their obligation is to make sure they track every transaction that goes through it. So it's guaranteed to be there. But the proviso is you've actually got to make your payment to the person you borrowed the money off on the due date.
Right, okay, so you're borrowing money, paying interest,
yep.
But it's not going to be the same interest if you're late with IRD?
Yeah, it's going to be a cheaper option. So you could be saving sort of 1%, 2%, 3%, depending on how much you're borrowing and for how long you're going to borrow it.
Well, when you hear some of the mortgages that are about.
Yeah, and it can be easier than getting off the bank as well, because some people go to the bank to try and borrow it. This is another option where you don't actually have to tell your bank manager if you're right near the limit of your borrowing and they're not prepared to give you any more. You can go and see this third party.
We are not comfortable, is the saying, isn't it?
Yes, they do, yeah. So you can sort of lump your money in with everybody else. So you're using someone else's money effectively for a short period of time.
Yeah, okay, so it's like a bit like an overdraft, but it's not.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Yes, it's the same sort of thing, yeah.
Brings us round really to bank and IRD and the two having a conversation.
Yeah, what we're sort of saying is you've got to be careful what you're saying to the bank. Any discussion you have with the bank manager is not actually confidential to the IRD. So if you go into your bank and say, hey, look,
confidential to the IRD.
Yeah, so they can come in and have a look at what the bank manager notes are if they want. So if you say I'm going to buy the block of land down the road, hold it for 6 months and flick it off for a quick profit, can you lend me some money in the short term? IRD could find that out and actually charge you the tax on that profit if they wanted. So it's a case of just watching what you say to them, because they inevitably sort of get you into the situation. It feels like a comfortable chat, and you sort of tell them everything that's going on.
Which you would be traditionally able to do.
Yes, yeah. But if they start making notes, you need to be very careful about what they're noting. Make sure they are writing the right things down, and that straight after the meeting you make your own notes of what you think you told them. So that if IRD do go to your bank and say, hey, did they have a meeting, what did they tell you? You can then say, well, this is what my recollection of the events were.
Would it be a good idea to send your bank manager person and an email when you get
Always
back.
good to have a follow-up to the bank
And say,
manager.
my understanding of the meeting is as follows.
Yes, and get them to confirm back if you can. It's also a checklist for them to make sure they're going to do what you want them to do. But yeah, so it's just, you've got to watch what you say to them, what they're writing down, because they could write the wrong thing down unintentionally, and that could put you into a tax trap.
Whew. Now let's go back to what that situation that you mentioned about flicking the next door neighbour through pretty quickly.
Yes.
Why wouldn't they pick that up anyway?
Well, they will, but you could say, well, cash flow meant I had to sell it off, so it wasn't intentional.
Right, yeah.
But if you've got a bank manager note that says, you're going to make a quick 50 grand profit, straight away their eyes are going to light up and say, we've got you. Because they do get the record of every land transfer that goes through.
Yes, they do.
And then they'll trace the money and sort of see what's happened. And
I mean, would we expect IRD to go to bank managers very often?
Not unless they've got good cause. So if you've got 2 or 3 properties that you're changing every so often, definitely they'll probably do that. Or if they think they've got an excellent case against you but just want a bit of extra backup, they'll serve some documents on the bank to disclose everything that they've got on file. So it's not unheard of, and it does happen quite regularly.
I mean, you can't open a bank account now without giving IRD details.
Oh, exactly, yeah. And if you've got a trust or something like that now, you've also got to say that you haven't got overseas trustees involved, and because that also puts you into a different tax sort of area as well. So there's all sorts of things that they need now.
No, they can't come at you, can they? IRD, they can't ring
No,
you up and say,
no.
Coat Williams, I saw him coming out of your office.
Yeah, no. Anything that you talk with your accountant and lawyer, pretty much legally privileged.
Okay, but IRD are able to go into your bank accounts, for example, and take monies out.
Yes, they can. All they've got to do is send out a letter to your bank saying, this person owes this money, please deduct this money. They'll send you a copy at the same time, and you normally get 2 or 3 day notice before they're due to do it, which will either get you to do something or they'll just take the money.
There'd be no bigger incentive to do something.
Yeah, some people actually ignore it.
You're kidding me.
No, they don't open the mail. They see an IRD letter, oh, I've got a bill due. And next minute they're on the phone saying, oh, they've taken all this money in their account. They can't do that. Well, legally they can. If they know you've got money in a bank account and it's in your name, they can come and take it.
Company name?
If it's in a company name and you owe personally, no, they can't. But if the company did, yes. So it depends on whose name that bank account is in.
Okay, so yeah, so it is a bit Big Brother.
Yeah, they know what's going on. They've got a good system there. And of course now they're looking to upgrade their system for the future. Will make it even more observant of what's going on.
You and I have said probably 17,000 times, though, Kerry, that if you communicate with them, if you talk to them, and you play along with their rules,
yep, they're fine.
They'll do everything they can to keep you going.
Yep, they definitely will, and they'll even send out staff to help you if you're really struggling.
I've had that.
So if you work with them, they're fantastic people. If you ignore them, then they're big bag and ugly, really. That's how,
so
how they come across.
Just don't mess with them.
Exactly, yes.
Kerry, thank you very much indeed. Damn good advice that, don't mess with IRD.